I can't believe this world. Okay, look, can you believe it has been almost a year since the White House Correspondents' Dinner hired and then fired Amber Ruffin? Everyone just clutched their pearls and screamed, "Ah! Censorship! Freedom of the press!" Bump, 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 bump. So, yeah. Once again, I have some pretty serious choice words for the fact that now, with the opportunity to try again and show that they weren't afraid of a few jokes, the Correspondents Association announced that they were foregoing a comedian this year too and bringing in Oz the Mentalist. Oh my God. Okay, why are we still doing this, people? Why are we still doing this? I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to disparage anyone out there doing top-notch mentalism, whatever that is. What? Okay, I'm sorry. You think news organizations need someone to play more tricks on their minds than the fuckery they actually have to report on day in and day out? The president of the association said, Oz will offer a fascinating glimpse into what's truly on the minds of Washington's newsmakers. Are you the comedian? Is that a joke? It's pretty funny. If not, okay, you don't want to know what's on their minds actually. It's probably going to get them fired. This is Choice Words. I'm Samantha B. My guest this week is cookbook author, TV host, Padma Lakshmi. Her new show, America's Culinary Cup, is out now. And I adore this person. I really do. I've met her a bunch of times, and I just think her perspective is great. And her cookbooks are very, very good. And while I got you on the line, why don't you take a look at the spring dates for my How to Survive Menopause tour, now up on SamanthaB.com. Until then, hey, take a listen and make good choices. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. It's really nice to see you.
It's really nice to see you. Are you in New York City right now?
Yeah, I am. I'm in my office.
Nice. So then you experienced another snowburst this morning.
Yes, I did, but I honestly did not mind it.
Okay.
It was pleasant, and it gave us an excuse to cancel stuff I didn't want to go to anyway.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's all. It's always good to have like a to have a valid reason to cancel stuff is actually kind of magical.
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
Magical. Yeah. What do you do? What do you like in a snowstorm in terms of like, do you are you a big pot of beans on the stove person? Are you like, I'm going to cook all day long? That's what I picture.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm usually exuberant. I'm so happy to be stranded at home. And I usually, try to go out and get groceries for the next day. Like I'm one of those, oh my God, do we have 100 eggs because we're going to be down for 2 days, even though there's only 1.5 of us living here. Yep. But, so I'm like that. I'm like, scarcity phobia or something, but I make stuff. I make soup. I'm always plotting like, oh, let's make hot chocolate and let's make ramen, which is exactly what we did. So, and we had grilled cheese for lunch and a big pot of white beans,
of course,
exactly what you mentioned.
Yep.
By the way, that recipe for Ribolita is in my cookbook, Padma's All American. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, I loved it. I actually wanted to go to Central Park and my daughter was like, no, it's too cold. I'm like, let's go sledding. She goes, Mom, I'm not a kid anymore. Okay.
Oh no. Well, I don't have to push you down a hill. You could just like marvel, take pictures.
Yeah, exactly. But no, she's like all the way uptown. So.
Magical. Yeah. I'm so happy to be talking to you, and I'm so excited for your new. It's really nice to see you. I'm so excited for your new project.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Okay, so the show is called America's Culinary Cup.
Yes, it is.
Do you feel like, because you're like a you're like a triple threat on the show because you're the creator, you're also an executive producer, you're also the host of the show. Have you, for Taste the Nation, you also were were you the creator of Taste the Nation?
Things,
that was all of those things. So this is like a routine that you understand.
I understand it, but it's on a much bigger scale. Although I did way more press for Taste the Nation, just because, I think it was a different time. And I was also like really wanting to make sure that people saw it and stuff like that. So there's not as much press about, but then I think CBS is also doing a whole bunch of marketing. So I appreciate that. That means, also there's less to say about this one.
There's a bigger machine behind it. And it kind of speaks for itself in a way because it has such a huge platform. Yeah. And it's a competition. So how does it feel? What is the difference for you between these two projects? Like, what does it feel to wear that many hats? And how long was the filming? How long were you actually filming for?
The filming was all told about 6 weeks. It's 11 episodes, but 12 hours, which is kind of weird. But I think the first and last episode are each 90 minutes. But it was 6 weeks. It was much easier and I don't want to say much easier. It was different. Like, this is a much bigger production. I mean, Taste the Nation, well, I want to say we had 3 pass vans and like 12 to 15 people.
Right.
Because we were out on the road. We were never it was a documentary series. We were never in a location twice. And so we were very nimble, and, it's my opinion that the least you can disturb an environment, the better you are off by, in capturing it in its original state without affecting any kind of ripples from your being there. But this was so self-contained, but it was like a crew of 350.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so we filmed exteriors in New York. We filmed some of it in Toronto. It was a lot. Like, I've never worked on a show this big, and our set was really huge too. And that was designed from scratch as well. So it was just a different experience, but I have to tell you, and then Top Chef also was somewhere in between. Top Chef, I would say at the time when I was there, we had about 150 people on the crew. So it wasn't small. Right. But of course I was an executive producer, but I didn't create the show. I wasn't, not every single thing had to pass by my hands. Right. And so it's hard, like on this show, the stuff that I'm doing as host is the lowest hanging fruit. Like, that's easy. Just standing there in the X, making everyone feel comfortable, eating, judging, telling the chefs what to do.
Right.
That's like 15% of what I did on this show. I mean, most of it was, on the front end in creating the show, everything you can imagine. I, hired every head of department, and then I let them hire whoever they wanted. I think CBS hired the set designer, but coincidentally, it had been the same guy that did another set of mine. So, but other than that, every head of department was hired by me, and then, I had to create the show. So by the time that we got to pre-production, I really knew what the show was about, because obviously I had a lot of years to think about what I would do and what I wouldn't do. Someone gave me the power, and then finally CBS did. And I was like, oh, okay, great.
Wait a minute. Huh? Okay.
Yeah. But I have to say, Sam, it was really wonderful. Like, I didn't expect it to be so fun. I really didn't. I only took a couple of people with me from Top Chef. So I took one producer and my director.
Okay.
And the 3 of us were on set, and we were like walking around all weirded out, because usually it's so hard to make a show like this. And I talked to my director. I'm like, are you hearing what I'm hearing? He's like, yeah, everybody's happy.
Oh, like, what?
I know, and I was like, maybe because our business is contracting so much and people are just thankful for the work. Frankly, it's so hard, as you know, to get anything made. I have no idea. And then I asked my producer, she's like, yeah. And I go, it's kind of unnerving. And it was literally like Santa's workshop,
What a great feeling. I mean, you must just be like, oh, I'm pinching myself. What?
Yeah, I didn't want to jinx it,
Yeah.
but it was great. And, I get why people would, be sing-songy nice to me in front of my face, but I got reports from everybody that, it was genuinely a nice experience. And I think it's because I hope it's because the show was really nailed down and all of the big decisions, because I had to also host, were already made and implemented. So everything, even from the material of the chef's coats to the piping to the thread that we used to embroider their names. Right. I worked the most, I would say, on the set. Because I was very specific about how I wanted the set. I didn't want it to be a proscenium stage set. I didn't want it to look like a Shiny Floor game show or any reality show. I didn't want it to look like messy or have like all these jewel tone velvet walls or bright neon light, none of that. I really just wanted it to be very clean and high end, but Spartan and minimal, because I wanted it to be a cathedral of culinary excellence. I wanted it to feel like a sacred laboratory in a way,
Oh, this is exciting. This kind of like reminds me of, like if you move into a new place and you're like, I need to be in the kitchen. I need to figure out where I want stuff. And I have to live like this for a while to figure out what I'm going to reach for, where it needs to be at all times. It feels like because you're a chef yourself, that you would be so integral to the design of the kitchen areas. And you've lived in that world
I've lived in this world of food, but I'm not a chef. I've never, I'm a food writer. I know. But, it's different writing cookbooks and making television about food, whether it's a documentary or the show, whatever. Like, it's different than being a restaurant chef. It really is. But this is a show designed for the highest of the high, the best of the best restaurant chefs in our country. And so, one of the things I wanted to do was make sure our chefs had all of the toys and equipment that they needed to excel, that they wouldn't be fighting with their competitors for like the best stove or the oven that didn't have a hot spot or whatever it is.
Right.
And I wanted to give them the highest grade restaurant quality products in the pantry. So the pantry I went through with a fine-tooth comb, but I had a great producer named Mary who, worked under Joel Robuchon and also went to UC Berkeley, and it's just all around fabulous and did a great job. So yes, I checked her work, but I didn't really, I was very happy with it. Like, they had 7 kinds of edible flowers at the peak of bloom at all times in the fridge. They had quail eggs, duck eggs, rabbit, whatever, anything they could want. And also, so the set is really just wooden floors, stainless steel, and marble. It's very classic. Like, it looks like a bigger version of French Laundry or, Danielle or Le Bernardin. And it's oval. It's like an amphitheater. There are no corners in the kitchen. And everybody has their own counter, which is 6x3. It's sort of a kidney shaped. Even that is not rectilinear. And they each have 6 burners. They have everything they need. So nobody, like, because I want it to be like the Olympics. I want it to be like Wimbledon. And it is, because I was designing it specifically for CBS, we didn't pitch it, we just knew we were making it for CBS. I wanted to harness a lot of their audience, which is really sports-based. They have March Madness, they have NFL, they have PGA golf, none of which I watch personally. I'll go to a Knicks game and really happily enjoy it, but like I don't watch sports on TV unless, again, it's maybe Wimbledon and it's Serena Williams. But if you're going to have somebody like a Serena Williams or, if Michael Jordan's coming to play, you're not going to give him a deflated ball. Maybe if it's Tom Brady, you might, but not, but not, you know what I'm saying? So we wanted to treat these chefs as they deserve to be treated. And I think that was the one big difference that I wanted to see in the genre now, because I've played in the sandbox and the sand needs changing.
Right. It's like, and I think people crave, I know that I do, I crave expertise. Like, I want to see, because the country's like run by babies and toddlers. I want adults to show me what is the best possible version of something. Like, what can't I do it? What would I never do at home? Because I don't have the skills, I don't have the tools, I don't have the patience or the drive to do that. Like, but show me that. I bathe in expertise now. It's exciting.
You don't want to watch people who can just do what you can do in your own kitchen.
Oh my God. I'm not watching somebody make an omelet. I'm like, make something I would never try.
But also making a French omelet, by the way,
that is hard.
Is really hard to get it perfect and without any brown color. And, you know,
it's true.
Like that's, Escoffier, that's what he would make all his cooks do.
Yeah, that was a bad example because you really do need to make like 300 to do it. Right.
At least, like, I totally hear what you're saying. So yeah, I mean, that's, so when every other, competition show is like throwing obstacles in their way, making them fight for ingredients, also, I want to take out all that stuff and just make it about the purity of cooking, and that's why we don't even have a format. Like, we have zero format. So no two episodes are alike. I mean, they're always cooking, of course, and mostly in that kitchen, but it's not like you're going to see a mystery box of ingredients that then you're like, make something edible out of this weird box.
Right.
Or like there's
make
a quick
something
fire.
out of this squirrel meat.
Right. Exactly. None of that. There's no like quick fire and then main challenge. There's nothing. Okay. The show is governed by 10 culinary commandments, CBS.
Oh.
I came up with that because I'm like, I do not pretend to know what such a big behemoth like CBS, like what the majority of their viewers like a lot of them, are in the middle of the country and stuff. And thank God it's apolitical because, but I mean, I really wanted it to feel surprising.
Oh my God. What is it like for you now to go eat in a restaurant? Do you have to wear a disguise? Like, honestly, it must be a lot.
No, I don't have to wear a disguise, but I tend to go to the same 3 or 4 restaurants, which are literally a walking distance from my apartment downtown, because I go there so much that they're not sending me a bunch of stuff from the kitchen that I don't want, because I know that I have no right to complain because that's a very high class problem to have.
Right.
But, when I'm not testing recipes for a book or a piece of writing, or I'm not on a show, I eat very simply. I don't eat steak. I don't eat a lot of red meat other than bacon, maybe twice a month, in my carbonara or something. So I'm really a simple eater. Like I'll be happy with an omelet and some French fries or, whatever. So I tend to be a creature of habit. I'm happy to try new restaurants, especially in New York. There's a new restaurant opening every week, it seems. Yeah. But I'm kind of a creature of habit, I gotta say.
I think that it makes sense. It feels like you would kind of have to be in a way, because you've got to come back to like, if you I'm sure that you find that when you eat out a lot, and it does happen where I'm sure you're going in waves where you're just like, there's something, kind of night after night, and you're always, you want to come back and have just like a little bit of rice and some delicious vegetables. And you're like, I got to ground it.
I'm done. Yeah.
I'm done. I think of all the times that I used to be like on tour and we would go, I would go to a Target in whatever city I was in or whatever and get a hot plate and cook and make something in my hotel room. Cause I was like, I
don't blame you.
Can't do this. I
don't blame you. It's really hard because so many people are also, even if it's the greatest restaurant, there's so many hands that are touching that plate. That's what people don't understand. Right. Yeah. And so, it's the same thing with room service. You don't know what you're eating. And no matter how good it is, it's never going to be as good as something home cooked. It's just not. So I get why all you want is like a bowl of noodles or something,
Sorry, I really am. I think that you already know this about me, but if people who are listening don't, I'm literally obsessed with eating. I'm literally obsessed. I have all your books.
Oh, you do? Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I read cookbooks. It's just my obsession. It's
really? I have to send you the new one if you don't have it.
I have Taste the Nation. I already have it.
Oh, you have it?
I have it. Yeah,
Padma's All American? Oh, great. Good.
Yes, Padma's All American.
It's Taste the Nation.
But that came out of Taste. I mean, that was an offshoot. Wait, did you conceive of Did you conceive of the book first or the show first?
The book first.
The book first. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the book first. And then I showed the book to my producing partner.
Yeah.
And the book proposal, rather, I had already sold the book. It was like an 18-page proposal that took me like 4 months. Went down all these rabbit holes of like Pew Research Center and Migration Policy Institute. And we were developing a show on immigration, but it was not about food. And then he saw this, I kept quoting stats from it. And he's like, let me see this proposal. And he's like, this should be our show. David was like, we have to merge the two because people are used to you talking about food anyway. And how genius would it be to like give them a travel food show, but then slip in all these politics and have it not be just, lifestyle, quote unquote. And so that's what we did. So I put the book aside, spent 5 years, traveling all over. And for those 5 years, I was really on the road for 8 months a year between both Taste the Nation and Top Chef. And so then I was just so burnt out. And then after I left Top Chef, I was like, okay, now I need to go back and do this book because my publisher is breathing down my neck also. And it was such a hard book to do. At one point, I just tried to give the money back. Like I was like, oh my God. I was like, can I just give you my not deposit, what do you call it? Advance back?
The advance, yeah.
Because I'm like, this is a big undertaking. Like, I don't think I realized. Because it's one thing to cook your own food. It's another thing to take liberties and license with Nigerian food and Peruvian food and Cambodian food, right? But it was too late. And then, I just worked really hard on it. And also, like, I had gathered all these recipes from traveling. So in a way, it was much easier to do the book after the show. I just didn't know it at the time.
That makes total sense. Are there recipes when you like pen a new cookbook or when you launch a new cookbook, do you ever go back to it? Are there recipes in those books that you still, well, I guess so, because you were just saying the ribollita.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So we make that every single week, especially in winter. Yeah. And, that recipe is mine. It's not anyone else's because I spent my 20s in Italy and I always thought those kind of very present-y, homey soups that you get while traveling, like in highways and stuff, they don't get enough love because they're not very glamorous, but they're delicious. But other recipes, some recipes, like some of our participants gave us recipes on like pieces of paper with just the ingredients, like scraps of paper. Other times somebody like would describe it on the phone to our culinary producer and he would be writing it down because he'd have to shop for it for the show. So we got all kinds of things. And it took me like 7 years all told to do that book. And also at one time I was going to do 2 books. I was going to have the cookbook and a book of essays. That was going to be more of a travel log. Okay. I had guest edited the Best American series of travel writing a few years ago and I really enjoyed it. And I started writing more long form essays for a book like that. But then I just thought, I'm just doing too much. And so we merged the books. So if you look in the book, you'll see between every chapter is a profile of one of the people I met on the road.
So great. And you and I first met, I feel like we were in Philadelphia. Wasn't it or was it in New York? Did we do something in New York? But I went to Philadelphia because we were doing a piece at Full Frontal about immigration in the context of restaurants and like how.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
Like how immigrants are like the literal spine of the restaurant industry, and like, I mean, that's something we can definitely talk about. But we did a small piece on that, and we had gone to Philadelphia to try like albondigas in this like special place, and it was so delicious and great. And so I just love, just like thematically, all of that work that you do in that space is really hits me at my core. I feel like right now, especially with the administration the way it is.
I know. I didn't think it could get any worse. I thought last time it was so bad. That's what's so enraging. Like I just realized it's been 10 years since I've been working with the ACLU. And the reason is I started they recruited me for some telethon that Tina Fey and Tom Hanks were doing on Facebook right before the last election, like in 2016. And here we are, and things are even, it's like the Gestapo.
I mean, it's awful. There must be, I mean, like the terror in the food service industry might be. What are you? I mean, what are
It's
you
horrible.
hearing?
It's horrible. People aren't showing up to work. It's not even just in restaurants. It goes far back at the source of like the food when it's grown. Like I've seen videos of farmers literally crying in their fields. Like this one farmer in Kansas is crying. He's like, I can't believe what's happening to me. I voted for Trump twice. I will never do that again. I'm like, it's a little late, buddy. But, he's like, no, I have none of my workers are coming to work and I can't pull all these carrots out of the ground by myself. I just physically can't do it. And, if I don't pull these carrots out within this week window, I'll go bankrupt. I'll have to sell my 4th generation family farm to Monsanto or whatever, you know? And it's like, well, you should have thought of that. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah. At what point do you feel like, because I don't really know. I don't really know why people don't think more about this, like where food comes from. I think about it a lot, so I can't put myself in the headspace of someone who thinks that strawberries are magical fruits that appear in your fridge.
I mean, to be honest, I would say even maybe 15 years ago, didn't think as hard about it because we're so used to convenience. Like we're real pampered, spoiled people in America. Right. In no other place do I know where you can get every fruit that grows on earth at any day of the year. And that's not normal, never mind the carbon footprint. It's just weird.
Right.
And, people don't realize this, but fruits and vegetables eaten in season at the peak of ripeness are not only more delicious, but have more nutrients.
Right.
Than when you have to pick them 6 weeks before you actually eat them and keep them in cold storage and then drive thousands of miles or take a plane. It's just all of that stuff. And I just think people are getting through their day and, are thinking, well, it's in the grocery store, so it must be okay to buy it.
I wonder what it will take to make consumers really dig into this. Like, I wonder what level of scarcity, will it be scarcity of a single item? I know that the cost of eggs was very high.
Right.
And that certainly was talked about, but I wonder.
I think it's happening in little spots. People just don't make connections from A to B,
Right.
Like our government has cut SNAP, has cut food stamp benefits in the most horrific way. And yet they are subsidizing other areas of the food chain, which don't make sense because you're like fixing a symptom of the problem and putting Band-Aids on it with money, but you're going to always have to do that. If you would just fix that problem, trickle or funnel that money to the people who need it, it would be such a healthier system. It's the same thing with our healthcare system. It's like curative or barely curative, but it's not prevention based.
Did you see Ruth Reichel's documentary that she made she made it partially during the pandemic, but it really was about the food system that we live under. And it was talking to farmers, as you have done for so many years, about really where it comes from and how difficult it is to get it to the consumer. And like the margins that these great food producers work within are literally terrifying.
They're razor thin.
And
that's true of restaurants too, because think of a restaurant, like you have to have all of the groceries, all the produce, meat, whatever, to make everything on your menu.
Yeah.
And then you don't know if your restaurant's going to be full because some of it's reservation, but you still allow walk-ins. And if you're a casual restaurant, you get more walk-ins. And it's like you have to keep all that food and it's perishable and you have to have all that labor to cook it. But then if nobody comes, you're paying the bills still of those groceries. And most restaurants are paying the invoices from 45 days ago with the revenue that's coming in today. So you're always behind the 8 ball.
Yes.
I mean, somebody was talking to me and saying, "Oh, would you like to be a, investor in my restaurant?" And I was like, "No, not if you actually want money from me. I mean, I'd rather just, no. And like people don't understand how hard it is. And I see it in the swankiest neighborhoods in New York where there are closures of, like clothing stores and everything. And then I also see landlords who would rather those buildings or those, sites, whether they're restaurants or shops, be empty so that they can harvest a loss on their taxes.
Yes.
Then lower the rents so that at least, a new business who wants to open a business, can afford it.
It's off. It is haunting around New York City to like, even because I'm on the Upper West Side in my neighborhood, there are just storefronts, restaurants that cannot make it work, no matter how good it is, no matter how many people are in there, because the rent is actually too high for them. Like they couldn't survive if they had one bad day per week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's
why
daunting.
New York used to always be the city that never sleeps. Yeah. Now restaurants won't serve you after 9:30. They will not give you, a lot of restaurants won't give you a 10 p.m. reservation when they used to. Yeah. Because they don't want to keep their staff for so long while you're like idly talking over your coffee. You know what I mean? Right. You're like, let's go, lady, let's go. And so I get it. I understand that. Like, I don't think, also we have this mentality in this country, and maybe it comes from Depression era or, mentality, but it's sort of like bigger is better. The portions need to be bigger. You need to get value for your dollar. Well, you're just getting obese is the truth, and so our portion sizes are also big. So people feel like they're getting gypped if they don't get more than the serving size that they should be eating. Like you see these 16-ounce tomahawk steaks, right?
Right.
You shouldn't really have more than a 7-ounce or 4-ounce serving of beef, 7-ounce serving
it should be like
fish.
It should be like the size of your, like the circumference of your fist, basically.
Correct.
That's kind of the rule that there's no rules, but
there's so much food waste. There's so much food waste everywhere.
So much food waste. Is there a bylaw in New York City? I was trying to describe this to Jason the other day. I was like, I feel like we don't have robust laws around day-old food anymore. I feel like now
everyone's afraid of getting sued.
Everyone's afraid of getting sued, and so we're throwing out all this food all the time. It's crazy. Yeah, it's upsetting. Did you enjoy watching our food pyramid get flipped upside down so that now those tomahawk steaks are our number one source of food?
It's ridiculous. Like we were a laughing joke, like a laughing stock of the world. Now it's actually stupid. Like, what was that workout video with Kid Rock? Oh. Also, why are you working out in tight jeans? Ew. What? And then going in the bathtub and then drinking cow juice. Like, who the hell?
Your jeans are screaming, sir. Your jeans want to be left alone. The stitches in your jeans are screaming for mercy.
Like, he's a cabinet member. Like, why is he putting out a shirtless video to that terrible, like, rights-free music, clearly? Like,
Oh, my God. And just a birthday candle in an open bone. Just
what does that even mean?
What are we supposed... Sir, please. You must... I need him to really go away. It's not happening. It's
so scary.
He really scares me. He's really, really frightening. The way that they, like asking us to eat like these gigantic, I'm just using this example of like his birthday steak, which was immense, just a big empty plate filled with steak. And then, but also increasing the like production of glyphosate, which I'm like, what are we saying? What are we doing? The mixed messages are actually making my head spin.
It's just you can't count on the government for anything now. Not for guidance on vaccines. No. Not, for nutrition. Not for NIH funding.
Nothing.
We're
on our own.
We're on our own.
We have to save ourselves. We have to save ourselves, and we have to like enjoy watching people demonstrate expertise, I guess. Did you send your book to Stephen Miller? Because I recall you saying that your book was literally Stephen Miller's nightmare.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was my answer to Steve Bannon and Stephen Miller.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to be careful what I say about Stephen Miller because he's clearly the most powerful person in our country right now. But I mean, he's such a weasel. Like, he's so gross.
So gross.
So gross. And also, all this like rounding up of immigrants, never mind the atrocious morality and ethics or lack thereof that it entails. And these, ICE agents aren't trained and they're just these thugs. It's so short-sighted. You are a capitalist society. You run on immigrant labor, okay? Yeah. No matter what sector you're looking at, health, research, technology, education, music, sports, food. I mean, pick your area. Our country would come to a standstill if everybody who wasn't born in this country, whether they were a citizen or not, let's just say, if they just put down their tools, stayed home, or left, the traffic lights wouldn't work. The trains wouldn't run on time. The grocery shelves would be empty. Like, that's the thing I don't understand. Like, the whole system is based on people coming in who have nothing and have to work for peanuts so that the rest of us sitting on top of them can move up the economic ladder, and that they, with hard work and Herculean patience, can move up, and then a new crop can take over. And that's the system.
I know.
And it's not very fair, but it kind of has worked. And then, so you're going to take what level of any system is the most important? The foundation.
The foundation. Nothing will function. You're exactly right. It's like, but I don't think we have a great handle here on some people do, but what our own power is in the moment. Like, I feel like the women of Finland are like, or Iceland, I can't remember where it happened, where all the women were like, actually, we're not going to do anything today.
Yeah.
It's women take the day off day. And the whole country was like seized. It puts sand in the engine.
Yeah.
And it makes everybody wake up and go, oh, right. Oh, yeah, right. None of these things are possible without this broken system that we've created, but actually does need to keep chugging along in some way.
Yeah, I don't know. The problem is that we can't even rely on all American women because...
No. I know. Oh, okay.
There's good white girl energy.
Sure.
And there's not so good white girl energy,
100%. There's some very bad white woman energy out there.
Yeah.
Still even talk about perimenopause just for 1 second.
Sure.
Do you feel yikes.
Yeah. And I have a teenage daughter. So, it's just the estrogen wars at my house. There's like, I'm over here like gasping for fumes and she's over here like swimming in estrogen, like, oh, it's coming out of every pore. She's an ocean of it, So
it's just like exuding. It's just like you could smell it. It's like there's pheromones.
Yeah. I mean, there's sometimes I just walk by a room and take a hit because I'm jonesing for something.
You're like, I actually don't need the jelly. I'll just place my hand on your shoulder and I'll get everything.
Her friend slept over because her parents traveled for a week and I got my period. Like, I haven't had my period in months. I thought I was done. I'm like, all right, yay, we're in the home stretch. And then lo and behold, every time I think I'm out, they drag me back in.
That can go on for like 14 years.
I'm going on a good 10.
I've got 2 teenage daughters, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. And I'll get all the way to 11 months, and then I'll be like, well, you guys must have had a very emotional day, and the moon is full, so here I go again.
Yeah, exactly.
The countdown clock. And often I feel like I just want to eat like a bowl of Raisin Bran for dinner. Do you feel that way? Are you like, oh, actually, I think I'm just going to have a bowl of crackers?
Yeah. I will often make myself a cheese plate that is embarrassing for one person just have chili jam, like manchego cheese and pepper jelly or chili jam with crackers, like those long skinny ones. I forget the brand. But yeah, I can eat my weight in cheese and crackers or cereal or, peanut butter and jelly with a big glass of low fat milk. Yeah.
Can I just tell you that that's what I had for lunch? That's the exact, I had those long crackers, those delicious Firehawk crackers.
Yes, that's the brand. Yes, I love those.
With a savory cheese and some red pepper jelly is like chef's kiss, the most delicious lunch.
Yeah.
It's portable.
I love I used to live in LA a long time ago, and Nancy Silverton would always have grilled cheese Thursdays at Campanile.
Yeah.
And I love that. And so there are times when I just make grilled cheeses, like all kinds, like with sauteed mushrooms or with red onion chutney. By the way, make that red onion chutney in the book. Because if you just keep it in a glass jar, it's fantastic on any cheese and any cracker, and it lasts in your fridge. Just don't put a wet spoon in there. Like make sure your spoon is clean and dry. But I say that because you never know.
Yeah.
But that will last you like 3 months, and it gets better and better and better as it sits.
My mouth just started to water.
Good.
My mouth is watering now. Do you read other people's cookbooks? Do you kind of pore over those?
I do, because I literally get 3 cookbooks a week, because they want me to blurb it, or they want me to put it on my Instagram or whatever. And I don't get to all of them, but I do try. Like there are people that I know, like this young woman who has a spice company called Diaspora Co. Oh, yeah. She's lovely. I did a collaboration with her. Like she travels to all these family-owned farms in all of South Asia. So Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, everything, to gather and hunt these spices that she sells. They're all single origin spices. So she's met all these people, and she just put out a cookbook.
Oh.
And so it's very, very specific regional recipes from the subcontinent. You know, it's not going to be chicken tikka masala.
Sure.
So that book I'm excited about. But I read cookbooks cover to cover, like novels, if I like them. And then I don't really follow the recipe. I kind of just, if I'm not sure what to cook, I will get inspiration from it and wing it.
Right.
But if there are things that I know I want to make, and I know a certain person has the right recipe for it, I will just go to them and follow them. So it's got to be something that, you know, like the proportions of flour to baking soda and a Dutch baby or something. You know what I mean? That I'm like,
sure.
I don't work with flour that much, because I didn't grow up baking, and like most middle class Indian homes don't have an oven. They may now, but so we're a rice-based diet in South India. So I didn't grow up eating anything but, sliced bread for breakfast.
Right.
So I'm always a little iffy about baking with flour. But other than that, I usually just wing it.
I feel like my personal indulgence is actually going out in the world and like buying food things. Have tried to really channel shopping energy into just consumable, delicious things that are very interesting. Is there something you've bought from someone else lately that you think is really special?
Well, I mean, I started using, I have for a few years, but there are ingredients that have enhanced a lot of my dishes. So a couple of I call them flavor starters, but like sumac.
Oh, yeah.
Sumac is great because it's got this beautiful vermilion color, and it's just this bright, beautiful burgundy, and it adds tartness, like a fruity tartness to dishes. But it's really hard to add sour notes to a dish unless you're adding moisture, right? It's always in liquid form. Lime juice, vinegar, right? These kind of things. But what's great about sumac is it's powder and it's dry. So like, for instance, if you're making a kebab of ground meat, right? And you want it to be like, you want it to hit that back part of your palate. So it's tangy.
Right.
Sumac is something you can add with the salt and pepper to achieve that. So that's been really great. Another thing I bought is pomegranate molasses, which you can get.
Yes.
And you can put that in salad dressings, in different condiments, in sauces. It's also pretty to drizzle over any yogurt dip. So again, stuff like that. But if you want, there's a great store called Kalustian's. And it's right on Lexington and 28th Street. And they have every spice, every hot sauce, every vinegar, everything from all over the world. And it's so miraculous to go in there. It's very inspiring. And I always come out with weird things, and I'm like, how am I going to use this? So
you're like, these dried limes.
Yeah, exactly. Omani limes, dried Omani limes are great. And you can just smash them with a mallet and throw them into a stew, like in your pot of beans or chicken soup. And they have such a beautiful aroma, but also a funk because they're a little fermented. Like preserved lemons, Moroccan preserved lemons, same thing.
So nice. So nice. I bought a cookbook recently that kind of like has been very influential. It's called Third Culture Kitchen. And I've made so many things out of it. And everything I make is like a real winner.
Yeah. She's lovely.
She's great.
Yeah.
She is great. Oh my God. Are you still doing comedy? Wait, are you still doing...
Honestly,
don't know.
It's such a weird thing because it was just something I was doing like lo-fi as kind of an elevated and a terrifying hobby. But, the New Yorker did this profile of me, and so she fucking outed me about it.
Oh, no.
So like I was getting offered gigs that I had no business getting offered, really, just because I'm already, well known. And so sometimes, I will go back to it in mid-March because I've been so busy with the show. I've got to look at like 5 cuts of each episode, for edits and stuff.
Yeah.
So once that gets put to bed, I will get back on the horse. But I'm doing I do drop-ins at Caveat or Union Hall, or you know what I mean? It's little tiny things. It's very low stakes. I'm not but although for the cookbook, we did do a night of comedy instead of just a classic book talk at Symphony Space, which holds like 1,000 people.
It's
I want to
huge.
say, and we sold out. I mean, it wasn't just me. It was great comedians who were so talented, and they were just all telling immigrant stories. And that was much more fun than just doing like a fireside chat or whatever. People have heard me talk forever, so it's not a big deal. But that was a lot of fun. So the way it started is that when Louis C.K. got a platform, the Comedy Cellar is right by my house. So that's my neighborhood place. And I love that place. And then I had read a few years, this was a while ago now, that, he snuck back on that stage, and I was really pissed about it. So I went on this Twitter rampage, which I wouldn't do anymore because I'm also not on Twitter that much. Yeah. But I was like, why would you give him a platform? Like there's so many other female comics, people of color, queer comics that are in this city that could really use that platform. Right. And then I started naming all of those comedians. And so the guys from Vulture called me up and they're like, we think you have pretty good taste in comedy. Do you want to put the show on? And I'm like, why would anyone come to a comedy show with me? Like, I'm that lady from Top Chef, And they're like, no, we think they will. And I said, look, I'll do it if we can do it for a good cause. And we did it for National Network of Abortion Funds. I think you came to one of them.
Yep.
And so we did that 5 years in a row, and we always sold out. And I would just host it or whatever, and then I would get off stage and let the professionals do their thing. We also did it in Dynasty Typewriter on the West Coast and sold out there too, and had great comedians who agreed to do it. And then somewhere down the line in the last 2 versions we did, I was like, I'm going to try. I'm just going to do 4 minutes, and then I'm going to do 7 minutes. And so that's really all I did. And that's how this rumor started. And then I was like, oh shit. And then I also did the Brooklyn Comedy Festival, but I was also doing improv. I used to do improv before I had a kid. And I used to sort of, the food stuff was my version of waitressing, as I was becoming an actor and stuff. And then the food thing just took off.
Yeah.
And then I got pregnant, and I was like, something's got to give. And so I stopped doing improv 16 years ago. And then just a couple years ago, I enrolled myself again in the program at UCB just to have something to sort of jolt and jumpstart my creativity. I was just really burnt out after all those years of Top Chef, and I just wanted something. And I don't know, stand-up comedy seemed like a good idea, and improv seemed good. So, I will be a guest monologist at UCB once in a while, things like that. And that's also where I get my material. But it's mostly what you'd expect. It's mostly.
But you know what? This is like the living embodiment of do one thing per day that scares you. Like that's really scary. And it's also scary when you're a famous person to try something very new that's like very much a skill that
it is.
You kind of don't know if you will like it or have any ability to do it until you're physically doing it.
Yeah, you can't tell. And
you can't tell.
It's really interesting. Like it's exhilarating, but also excruciating at the same time, you know, and it's sort of sink or swim. And I think it's the purest form of art, in my opinion, because there's just you and that mic.
Yes.
And you've got to make shit up, or, you know, if the material you have isn't working, you have to deal with who's in front of you and the energy in the room. Mm-hmm. And I also, you know, I happen to be blessed with close relationships to really A-list comedians. So I don't even call it doing stand-up. It's like adjacent. It's kind of like funny moth stories, you know? And I have been involved with the Moth, which is a great organization for a really long time. They put out this wonderful book called How to Tell the Story. I wrote the foreword for that. And so like, it's just that. I mean, that's part of doing the CBS show, so that can pay my bills and that can be my day job. And it can cover the bills. And then I can go and talk to 30 people about my hormonal deficiency and hopefully do it in a funny way. Like, that's pretty much my life right now.
Amazing. Oh my God, I love it. Well,
How did you start? And because you've done a lot of stand-up.
I actually wanted to be a really serious theater actor. I was like, I'm going to be Lady Macbeth one day. Like, I just got to get on that stage. I think so. And I was living in Canada. I, went to theater school in Toronto, and I was like, I'll just be a serious actor and I'll never have any money or life. And I might never have a mortgage. And I accept because I love this work so much. And then I auditioned for so long and never got hired. And I would go do a very serious audition and they'd be like, okay, but try to make it not funny. Like, stop making faces. I was like, the universe is sending me a message. And then literally I had friends who just forced me to do comedy with them to fill in for someone. And I went, I will do comedy for the rest of my life for no money. I don't care. I'll be 56 doing it, having a Rubbermaid trunk full of props. I don't give a shit. This is what I do. Doesn't matter. And it just like continuously sort of saying yes to and being open-minded about it and not having any perceptions or preconditions for what success looked like caused me to just sort of yes and my way into like this life. Yeah. It's kind of an accident. It's sort of an accident.
It's a great happy accident. Yeah, I know. Somebody very smart once said to me, push against the open door.
That's it, right?
That's like, it. If this is what the universe is offering you, like, even though the ring is brass and not gold, take it. Take it.
Yeah, I think a lot of just kind of the secret of living is just to do that, just to reach for new experiences and just say yes to things. I don't know. It doesn't always work, and that's okay. Success, failure, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're having a good time doing it, that's actually the key. Oh my God, I'm so happy to be talking to you. Thank you so much for saying yes to this.
Too. My pleasure. I love you so much.
That was Padma Lakshmi, and I had no choice but to look up one thing. We were talking about how RFK Jr. eats too much steak, among many other things that he does incorrectly. We were laughing about the fist rule, okay, which is when you're supposed to eat a protein portion equivalent to your fist. But that's actually more for veggies. You want your steak to be closer to the size of your open palm, excluding fingers. You know what? On that note, I'm quite hungry. Thanks for joining us. I'm Samantha B. We'll see you next week for some more choice words. Thank you for listening to Choice Words, which was created by and is hosted by me, Samantha B. The show is produced by Svea Baron-Reinstein with editing and additional producing by Ryan Connor. We're distributed by Lemonada Media, and you can find me at Real Sam B on Instagram. Follow Choice Words wherever you get your podcasts or listen ad-free on Amazon Music with your Prime membership.